Hello, lovely people. Hope you're well and welcome to another preview. This time we are looking at UFC 273. Will Alexander prove to be too great for the Korean Zombie? Will Khamzat's hype train be derailed? And will Aljo pick up another award, but not for acting this time? I'm delighted to be joined by Luke Tanner and by Ben making his first appearance on the channel. Luke, hope you're well. Ben, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me. It's a pleasure to come on. I was digging that intro music there. It's there's a bit of groove to
that. Appreciate. And Luke, you recovered from the big birthday yesterday?
Yeah, recovered.
Happy belated.
First full day of being 24. But,
oh, enjoy it, bro. As I said, once you hit 30, bro, it's very steep. The hill's very steep. But we are going to get straight to the preview, guys. As always, please do smash the like button if you haven't. Luke and Ben's YouTube links and links to podcasts, etc., will be in the description after the show, so make sure you check them out as well. Let's do the first fight, guys. Now, guys, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Vinc Pichel, I have no idea who he is. Mark Madsen, I do. So, Ben, I'll come to you without putting you on the spot. Do you know much about Vinc?
I know him. He's a bit of an unsung hero. I'm just pulling up his record now. He's only lost twice, and they've been to Ruslan Khabilov and Gregor Gillespie. So, they're not bad losses to have. And he's 39, I believe. So, it's kind of funny how they're in a similar position. Like Marco Madsen, he's a weird sort of prospect in that he's in his mid-30s. But he's undefeated in the UFC and has looked pretty good. I'm looking forward to this fight a lot.
Agreed. Luke, you were saying this yesterday. You expect Madsen to put on a good performance, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that wrestling pedigree, it's gonna shine through. And he is, for someone that's in his mid-30s, he's been really hyped as an up and coming prospect, which is odd considering he's in his mid-30s. But someone that was nicknamed Khabib's Kryptonite, 11-0. I'm expecting him to keep his own this weekend.
I mean, Khabib's Kryptonite is a bold statement to make.
Not my statement, is what he was touted to be his Kryptonite. But we're never going to see that fight, so yeah.
We won't. We will never see that fight. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't think there is a kryptonite there for Khabib. I think there's only one fighter in his division that could potentially beat him, and that's Oliveira. But I don't think anyone else beats Khabib right now. So fight predictions then, guys. Obviously, Luke, you're going with Mark. Ben, your thought?
Yeah, I'm probably leaning Mark as well. I wouldn't put any money on this. So Vinc Pichel is one of those guys who can just do it against anyone. So I'm going Mark though. I'm a big believer in him. He's a great wrestler. I expect him to get the job done.
Yeah, got 3 for Mark here. I expect Mark to do the business as well. It'll be interesting seeing how he's matched up if he wins this fight, where he goes next, who they put him in with. So it's very interesting, and looking forward to that fight as well to kick off the main card. Let's look at the second fight on the card, guys. Big fight in this division. Mackenzie Dern versus Tecia Torres. Tecia's coming off a win against Angela Hill. Mackenzie Dern is coming off a loss. Mackenzie Dern was looking very good up until the loss. She's ranked number 5. Tecia Torres is ranked number 7. But if you look at Tecia Torres' record, which again I've got to thank Luke for, we went through it and she's only been beaten by champions and former champions or title challengers. So it's not like she's a scrub. Her record for me doesn't tell the full story. Luke, Mackenzie Dern versus Tecia Torres. Who has the edge going into this fight, in your opinion?
I think it's Mackenzie Dern, to be honest, because that Marina Rodriguez fight, it was close. You could have flipped the coin either way to who won that fight, but I just don't know. Tecia Torres is a difficult one because if she's not careful, she'll be nicknamed the gatekeeper, where she'll beat everyone but the top 5, and pretty much her record is lost to pretty much a champ or a former champ. So I do expect Mackenzie Dern to get back on the win column. I just think her jiu-jitsu game is just a whole nother level in that division. It's like there's a whole nother level of that jiu-jitsu ground game. I think you saw it in the Nina Nunes fight. As soon as you got her down, got the submission, nice and quick. And plus, her hands, like her striking, is slowly catching up to where her ground game's at. And I think she'll pick up the win this weekend.
Fair dues. Ben, what's your thoughts on this fight?
It's an interesting one. Tecia Torres' nickname is the Tiny Tornado. She's very small. I think if there was an atomweight division in the UFC, she'd be straight in there like tomorrow. So there's going to be a size advantage for Mackenzie, and a grappling advantage for sure. The only thing about Tecia is she's like really she's a good grappler too, but she's really fast. Like got that karate style, and she should have the speed. Well, she'll definitely have the speed advantage, and she should have the advantage on the feet. And I don't know if she can overwhelm Mackenzie Dern, but I think I'm leaning Tecia for this one. I think so.
Oh, interesting. So here's the thing. I agree with both of you. I think on the ground, I think there's only one winner. I do think Tecia will get the better of her standing. The only thing is, as you said, she's small at the weight, and it's the smallest weight division in the UFC. I feel that's going to play into Mackenzie Dern's hands, and I think Tecia may win the first round, but I think once Mackenzie starts to get hold of her, starts to use some of that weight, some of that muscle, some of that advantage, I think you're going to see her slowly start to break Tecia down. I think it'll go all 3 rounds, but I'm leaning towards a Mackenzie win as well. So I got 2 for Mackenzie there, Ben. Sorry, mate.
Okay, it should be a good fight.
It should be. It should be. Just got a comment here from Sammy. Sammy says, Cal, you're my bro, but predicting Chelsea to beat us 3-0 hurt me. It's all love, though. Yeah, I was completely wrong with that Chelsea result. Well done to Real Madrid last night. Still no Liverpool, but well done to Real Madrid. Just on an off topic, really quickly, Ben, are you a football fan at all?
I'm an Arsenal fan, so
Ben. Oh wow,
Ben.
Oh.
I know. Listen, they really Arsenaled it up the other night, so they're back to their old ways of like disappointing me constantly. So
I have a nickname for Arsenal called the Learners. So
appropriate. It's a ridiculous club. Like you can never get your hopes up.
I can see. Hassan says Benzema best in the world. I think that is Salah. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion. But right, let's get to what many are calling the people's main event. Right, guys. So on one side, you've got a man who's challenged for the title, has been at the top of this division for a long time, beat Tyron Woodley straight after he lost to Usman, has looked devastating against people like Damian Maia. He's got great hands, great feet, great speed, amazing jiu-jitsu, and he's not even being spoken about. And then on the other side, you've got a man who's ranked 11th in the division, has barely spent any time at all in the octagon, is now one of the most popular fighters in the UFC. Guys, Ben, is this a hype train or is this for real?
We're about to find out. Like, I'm a big believer in Khamzat Chimaev. I think he's got everything that you need to be dominant in that division. I think it's helped slightly by the fact that the division isn't that deep compared to other divisions. Now, that'll probably change soon. There's some names coming up like Shavkat Rakhmonov and other people like that there's a storm coming there, but I think he's the real deal, and I would favor him against Gilbert Burns. I know everything you said is true. Gilbert Burns is a proven talent. He's elite in that division. He's amazing. He's an amazing BJJ practitioner. He's got hands as well. He can wrestle as well, as he showed against Wonderboy in the last fight. He should win, but I don't know. Khamzat has that something that I think he's going to show against Gilbert Burns. I think this is the time, but he hasn't been in any adversity yet, and we'll have to see how he reacts to that. And if Gilbert can, hurt him, can take him into the later rounds, then it's going to get very interesting, I think.
Indeed. Luke, Mr. Chimaev, your thoughts on this fight, and is Gilbert being overlooked?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100% has been overlooked. Like, his record speaks for himself. 20-4. Since he's moved up to welterweight, he's only lost to Kamaru Usman, beat Damian Maia, dominated Tyron Woodley, beat Wonderboy. But people are overlooking him because it's like Khamzat. Like, talk about Dana privilege. Like watch out Leon Edwards, because if Khamzat gets a dominant win, like he's gonna break his promise to him, saying you're next, and go, hey Khamzat, you want that shot? And he's gonna go, yes brother, easy smash, just smash it. But yeah, I feel like if you massively overlook, and you can tell like people are worried about him, because you've had Izzy talk about him saying focus on 170. Usman's come back to Stanford to help Burns train for this fight as well, which says all you need to know, that Usman does not want nothing of this guy, because he probably sees him as the guy that's probably going to take the belt off him. So I think everyone that isn't like us are thinking, oh god, him. So I think everyone wants to see him lose, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm 50-50. I'm 50-50 on this, because I don't know. It's so interesting. He's not been out the first round in the UFC, and let's be honest, like he's not. He's fought.
No, he's been out of it once. He's been out of the first round once.
He's been out in the first round once, and no offense to Reese McGee, Gerald Mershaw, like not at the level, and even Lei Liang, like he's good, but he just wasn't on that level. I just don't know how he's gonna do into those later rounds. And that Khamzat's got Darren Till in his corner, like, yeah, that might be a bad luck charm, because if he loses, I'm blaming Darren. I'm blaming him. Sorry, it's a fellow Brit, but you might be bringing that bad luck.
Tom Aspinall had him in his corner the other day, and Tom Aspinall put on a world-class performance. So. Yeah,
no, the thing is, I feel like you're seeing like a lot of stuff of them messing about. And that's worrying. That is worrying. The fact like all the embedded, they are basically pissing about. I'm like, okay, so where's the seriousness? We need to see you ready. So that's why I'm a little bit worried that he could be thinking about Usman, Adesanya, but like just focus on Burns, focus on the task ahead, rather than thinking about all the other fights.
I agree. Just to answer Hassan's question, Burns is ranked second in the division behind Colby and obviously the champion Usman. Why can't he fight Colby, says Pete. All right, so that was going to be my next question, guys. Let's say Chimaev comes out of this and it's a dominant performance. It's a fantastic win. I actually don't think Dana's going to break his promise to Leon, only because Leon's gone through so much in the last couple of years. I actually think Dana's going to honor this one to Leon. I don't see Khamzat waiting around, though. And if he beats number 2, he then becomes number 2 in the division. There's only one man ahead of him between the champion and himself. Do we potentially, or are we potentially building up to see Khamzat Chimaev versus Colby Covington if this fight goes the way that Chimaev wants it to go? Ben?
I don't think so. And I think the reason is I don't think Colby would take that fight. I think he'd find a way out of it. I don't think he's a guy who like ducks fighters like per se, but I think a lot of people like Colby's number 1 in the division and he does not want to give up that spot. And if Khamzat's dominant against Gilbert Burns, he would definitely see him as a guy who would like take that spot. So I don't, unless they really like twist Colby's arm, I don't see that fight happening. I think, I don't know, they'd probably give Khamzat a more fun fight, maybe Nate Diaz or something like that. I know Nate will take a fight like that, and he would lose badly, but it's a big name and it'll keep the hype train going,
Luke, do you agree with Ben?
Yeah, I do. Colby will handpicks his opponents like he waited, like he waits until they're practically ready to retire to face them. Woodley, Masvidal, Robbie Lawler, Dos Anjos. Like he needs to Maya. If he wants to stay active and potentially get that trilogy, like he's got to be fighting people underneath. He's got to be fighting Burns, Luque, Muhammad, Wonderboy. But yeah, he's not going to take that fight. It would not surprise me if let's say Khamzat wins and he's like, yeah, I don't want to wait. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets the winner of Luque versus Muhammad, which happens like a week after, like next week. Like to keep him active, or I don't know, he might go back up to 185 to have a fight there before he drops back down. Like he's going to stay active, but I don't think he's going to fight Colby.
Very interesting. I, for the first time, probably for a little while, actually think Colby would take this fight. I genuinely do, because I think he knows after him losing the second time to Usman, the fact that he did beat Masvidal, but he didn't stop Masvidal in the way that Usman stopped him. Unless you do beat Khamzat, if Khamzat does win, you're never going to be seen as a number one contender anymore. You're always going to be seen as the guy who lost twice to Usman. So I think he will throw his cards on the table, and I think he'll actually try and do it.
I'd love to see.
Colby's pushing for that Poirier fight, though.
Yeah, but I mean, do you know what? You're right with that as well. Because do you know what? It depends. Does Colby want to go back for the title, or does Colby just want to make money? If he just wants to make money, he's never taken that Khamzat fight. If he genuinely wants the belt, he has to go through Khamzat if Khamzat wins this fight. And if Khamzat loses, I think he has to go through Burns as well.
Yeah, but Colby handpicks his opponents, though. Like, it would not surprise me if he goes, yeah, no, who's practically done for me to beat. It wouldn't surprise me if he fights Wonderboy, another guy mid to late 30s, coming off a bit of a back-to-back losses, and get an easy dub in his eyes. So I can't see it. And plus, he'll be dining out on Masvidal going to prison for a while yet. And I think he wants that Poirier fight, which shows that he's just after money. I think he knows he doesn't beat Usman whilst he's the champ. So he's just going to go for money fights. And not going to lie, Poirier Covington is a money fight. It's a real blood feud. So it wouldn't surprise me to see that fight next for him at 170.
Fair do. So just to confirm predictions, Ben, who are you going for, Khamzat or Burns?
Khamzat all the way.
Luke, I know you were on the fence before. I'm gonna have to push you for an answer, bro.
Khamzat, come on, choo-choo, get on the train, baby.
I'm going for Burns. I'm gonna go for a Burns win. I love what Khamzat has done so far, but I haven't seen enough of him to convince me that he beats Burns. Burns is a hell of a fighter. But if he wins this, then he'll have won me over, and I'll be on that hype train as well. So looking forward.
Weird thing is, you're right though. Like, we haven't seen enough, but I'm still going for Khamzat for some reason.
But it's because of what we have seen. The stuff that we have seen has been nothing short of phenomenal.
Like one strike.
Yeah,
that was
one significant. I think 4 strikes in total. That's crazy.
And that significant strike was just like a flailing arm to try and get him off him.
Exactly. Yeah, he's brutal, but he's a fantastic fighter. But we will see how good he really is on Saturday night. Right, let's look at the co-main event. Right. At the Oscars the other week, we all saw it happen, right? But before the Oscars happened recently, Will Smith went into full sniper mode and Nate Diaz mode. We had Oscar-winning performance, many believed, from Aljamain Sterling after he was hit with an illegal knee by Petr Yan. Now, going into this fight, he's a champion. Not the undisputed champion, though. He's a champion. Yan is interim champion, and many people consider him to be the actual champion. I'm going to be completely honest with you both before I get your thoughts and opinions. I think Yan has kind of got away with quite a bit here because he did cause an illegal strike. He caused the disqualification. He's fully at fault. The problem I have with Sterling, even though I love Sterling, is the way he handled it after the fight. I don't even mind how he handled it in the cage. That doesn't really bother me because we genuinely don't know how he did feel.
That was Oscar worthy. That was Oscar worthy. Like, Anthony Smith got an illegal knee strike against Jones, and he was like, "Why didn't you do what Sterling did and just flounder around and get a rematch and get the pay-per-view points?" And he says, "I'm not that type of fighter."
But again, we compared it yesterday, Luke, to getting a penalty. Ben, I'm sure you'll attest. If you see Martinelli get clipped in the box, many people don't fall how players fall. In the same way, this Sunday, if Salah gets clipped in the box, you better hit the deck and tell me how that grass tastes because I want a penalty. Now, granted, we sit here and we criticize and we say, you know what, it kind of made the meal of it, but, you know, the defender did trip them. Yeah. Sterling may have made a meal out of it, but he still got knee to the face. Again, the issue I had was the Cejudo face-off after. The videos coming out of him celebrating with his friends and family,
God,
and then and then subsequently what he's been doing on social media, whether been going back and forth with people like DC, playing the bad guy, because I don't think that's his character.
So Luke, I don't mind him going back and forth with DC because let's be honest, like I have rapidly he rapidly losing my respect.
Well, here's the thing. But in order to get Yan's respect, he's got to do something that not many other fighters, well, no other fighter has been able to do, and that's back Yan up and keep him backed up. Do you think, Luke, he's got a chance in this fight at all?
No, I don't think so. Really, I think the first fight, before the knee strike, Sterling threw everything at him, through the kitchen sink, tried to wrestle him, get him down. Yeah, first round it worked. Second round, the effect lost. And then by the end of it, Yan was out wrestling the wrestler. And he's a boxer. So, he downloaded the game plan, took a couple of rounds to work out what you're going to do. And then he did the same in the Sandhagen fight. Took a couple of rounds to get going. But then at the end, he sort of, I wouldn't say ran away with it, but got the job done. Could have easily stopped him. And I don't see anything different to the next fight because he's been active. Sterling's had neck surgery and he's had complications with surgery because he was meant to fight in Abu Dhabi for the rematch, but Sterling had to take more time off. So I don't think we're going to see 100% Aljamain Sterling. I think he's going to have some octagon rust. And in the fight game, you can't take time off. You can't have a long period of time and think you're walking straight back in and you're going to be the same. Look what, this is probably the most well-known one, Conor. After Floyd, he was drinking, thought he could just roll back in with Khabib, and then he went night-night. But I don't see anyone beating Yan. I think he is the best in this division. He does what you do better than you by the end of the fight, and I think we're going to see that again.
Ben, your thoughts? Petr Yan, can anyone beat him? Can Sterling beat him?
Well, Luke made a lot of great points there, and I think Sterling can beat him, but I don't think he will. I'm favouring Yan for this one. I think he is the best bantamweight in the world. I think he's arguably the best fighter in the world, full stop, between him and another man in this card, in my opinion. And the thing about Aljamain, if he is to win this fight, he needs to change his game plan from the first fight, because what he did, that heavy pressure early on, just overloading with offense and then gassing out, it didn't work. It's not going to work again this time. The one thing that Aljamain might have on Yan, he's really good and awkward on the ground. And if he can do some interesting things off his back, or if he can wrestle to the ground someday early and just do some jiu-jitsu, that could be where he catches him. I don't think that's going to happen though. I think Yan's too good for that. As Luke said, he's the type of fighter who, when he fights you, he downloads the information and then he uses it against you. He's already had
like John Jones. He's exactly, John Jones-esque of, okay, I'll take a round to work you out, and now I'm just going to implement what you're doing. Yeah. And I think he's going to get the job done. He is, for me, the best bantamweight in the world. He's in a division full of killers, but he is the ultimate killer. I can't see anyone beating him because he's just going to download your game plan and do what you do. Maybe the only person that might have some success would have been a prime Dominic Cruz with his movement, the orthodox movement.
Yeah.
But I think he beats the version of Dominic Cruz we're seeing now, and I can't really see, unless Umar, Khabib's cousin, actually starts fighting at bantamweight. Got Jack Shaw and
TJ. Not giving TJ a shout, guys.
He was lucky to escape the Sandhagen fight with just a blown out knee, because he should have walked away with an L. That was some dodgy officiating, because I thought Sandhagen won that.
So
3-2, possibly 4-1, but it's gonna be a long night for Sterling. I think he's just got to be methodical himself. He's got to just take his time. This is a 5-rounder. There's not 3. Just take your time. He's got an excellent training partner, because he's got and Davishvili, which he said he wouldn't fight, but yeah, John Jones said he wouldn't fight Rashad Evans, and look how that ended up. So.
Yeah, very true. Very true. So, right, let's get some predictions then, guys. Obviously, Luke, you've gone with Yan. Are you sticking with Yan as well, Ben?
Yeah, I'm going with Yan.
I agree with you both this time, to be fair. I'd love Sterling to win because I think a trilogy between the two would be really good. But I think I see Yan edging it out. I think he wins maybe 4 rounds to 1 or 3 rounds to 2.
If it's a dominant win for Yan, I don't think we're going to see a trilogy.
Yeah, I agree.
If it's close, then maybe you might. But
yeah. Or Sterling gets a couple more wins and then go from there. So for obvious reasons, I can't pronounce your name, but all people say win, zombie, win. We're going to speak about that in a sec. Thank you, Tyler. Thanks for everyone who subscribed to the channel as well. Now on the road to 700, so please do subscribe. And on that note, let's have a look at the main event. Right. Alexander Volkanovski, in my opinion, is probably one of, if not the most underrated champions, maybe alongside Juliana Pena. And the reason is not even his fault. He's just in a division with one of the most popular fighters in the world, and a fighter who, in my opinion, beat him the second time they fought. And since then, he's never really been accepted as a champion, in my opinion, as he should have been. The Ortega fight, for me, showed absolutely everything a champion needs to be very great. And he did it and then some. He was put into horrible situations, fought out of both, and then battered his opponent and could have got a stoppage. This time, though, he is fighting a man who has only been stopped once in the octagon. Well, twice when his arm came out of his socket against Aldo, but legitimately stopped once with probably the greatest KO of all time from Yair Rodriguez. Ben, can the zombie do it? Can he actually go and do it and beat Volkanovski?
It's MMA. Anything can happen. I think if he is going to do it, it'll be like maybe a punch or something, like something out of like, because he'll be a bigger guy in there, and like he carries a bit of power on him. Like he'll wade forward, although he's gotten, I don't know, he's less of a zombie these days than he used to be. But I think that, you know, his best chance is on the feet if he catches him with a big shot. But I don't know. I think that Volkanovski, like, I'll go a step further from saying he's underrated. I think he's the best fighter in the world, full stop, at the moment. I think he's really good. I did think the Holloway fight was dodgy. I'll give you that. Like, I might have favored Holloway in the second one, but I would favor Volkanovski in the third fight. I think he gets the job done again there. Although, who doesn't want to see that? But look at his record. Like, he's beaten like Mendez, Aldo, Holloway twice, technically.
All the champs apart from McGregor.
Apart from McGregor. And I don't think McGregor can get down there anymore anyway. So
no. Volkanovski said that he'll follow him to welterweight. Like, he'll go up to 70 to fight him, because he said like he wants to have all 4 former champs. Like, he wants to beat all of them. And he said that he'll follow McGregor to 170 if necessary.
For me, he beats McGregor as well.
What?
I don't know, 170 though.
Even at 70.
Yeah, I do. Let's not forget, guys, Volkanovski was 200+ pounder before.
Yeah. Plus got
he's fought at welterweight before.
Yeah, got absolutely slept. Went through the ropes at welterweight as well.
he did, to be fair too. He's a different fighter now, though. And
it's a different beast.
I think that would be a fantastic fight in the future. But on this fight, is there anywhere Zombie can get to him apart from a Hail Mary? I mean, Zombie's got good jiu-jitsu.
He's training with Triple C.
That's the point.
So that wrestling's going to be on point. Like, look at the Triple C effect.
Game plan as well. We saw with Figueiredo against Moreno. Completely different fight. Completely different game plan.
But more methodical. Like look at Weili Rose 2. Weili was a lot more methodical. The wrestling was there. And obviously, we know the Zombies, like, he's got like one of the first twisters submissions in the UFC. And we know that Volkanovski's got heart. He's got that Australian rugby league heart. Like how he did not go to sleep in that Ortega fight. Like, is baffling. I thought his head was going to pop off because it was going so red.
Yeah.
But I think on the ground, the Zombie could have an advantage, but it's just getting him there though, because those leg kicks that Volkanovski likes to use is just to chop his opponent down. Is going to be crucial for Volkanovski in this fight.
Agreed. So Ben, I'm going to push you for a definitive prediction. Who wins and how?
Okay. I think Volkanovski wins. I think it goes the distance. I think he wins the decision. I think the Zombie he guts it out. I think he does well in the early rounds, and I think then Volkanovski, he shines through the way he always does. He's almost too good for his own good. Like he's so good that people can't recognize how good he is. He can't put his highlights really in a tweet. He can't put them on like a 5-second video. So
yeah,
he's gonna just outclass Korean Zombie.
Yeah,
I agree. Luke?
Yeah, I think he's going to get the finish. I think he's going to get the finish in the championship rounds. I know, like, to casuals, people are going to go, oh, where's his marquee knockout since he was champ? And, like, he's spoken about saying, like, I want that finish. And I think he's not really looking for it. But I do think if the opportunity arises, I think he'll go and get the finish in the 4th or 5th round. And Volkanovski, if he wins the next couple of fights, then I think he might move up. I think he might go for champ status, because when you look at 155, you could see him having some joy against some of those opponents as well. So it would not surprise me if we see him versus Oliveira or something in the future.
I got to agree with you both. I see Volkanovski winning this. I do think it goes the distance though, but I think it's a dominant win. I don't think it's one we'll look back on and think, oh, that was a close fight. I think Korean Zombie may have some moments in there, but I'm with you, Ben. I think Volkanovski is too good in every area to be in trouble or in major danger. I mean, even when you think in your Ortega fight, it was a snap jab that dropped him, and then Ortega just jumped on the neck. Like that doesn't just happen with any fight. Like Ortega, that's his thing. But
it's called T-City.
He can do it. Yeah, called T-City for a reason, and he still couldn't tap him or choke him out. So says a lot. P. Al says this isn't even a combo. We kind of had to have a combo.
Yeah.
It's only fair. But before we wrap up, Ben, where can the people find you and support you and subscribe and listen to your content, bro?
Yeah, sure. You can find me on Twitter at the Jive Master. I also do a podcast, an MMA history podcast, where we look at some funny fights from the past and we get some guests on. So that's called Hindfight MMA, and you can find us at Hindfight MMA on Twitter and on Spotify and anywhere you get podcasts.
Indeed. And Luke, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Let's Talk Sport, LSE Day Trippers, and then I've got my own channel which I'll be doing content on soon. I've got something coming out for that one soon, so stay tuned.
Amazing. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for this preview. Looking forward to a very good card. Hope we can do this again one day as well. Ben, thanks again. It's your first time on the channel. Luke, as always, you're a legend for all the help that you give me. Please smash the like button, people. Subscribe if you're new. Until we see you next time, have a good one, people. Take care.